All right, let's talk about one of the biggest challenges for parents today. In a world that is just screaming with social media feeds, trends, and expectations, how do we help our kids actually listen to their own voice? We're going to walk through a really powerful guide for helping them find and trust that authentic self. So let's get into it.
Here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack the dilemma our kids are facing right now. Then, we'll get clear on this key idea of a coherent self. From there, it's all about the playbook, how to build their inner compass, give them a safe space to practice, help them tune out all that noise, and finally, take a look at the coach in the mirror, which is you.
Okay, so let's set the stage. Part 1, the modern choice dilemma. I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Every single day, our kids are just bombarded with messages about who they should be, what they should want, and how they should look. The pressure it's just immense. So how do we help them cut through all that static and find what they actually truly want? Well, the answer starts with a huge shift in our own thinking. It's about changing our job description. We have to stop being the top-down manager who calls all the shots, and instead become a coach who guides from the sidelines. This isn't about giving up control. It's about building their confidence. It's about empowerment. So this whole coaching mindset, it's all building toward one ultimate goal, helping our kids develop what the experts call a coherent self. So what in the world is a coherent self? It sounds a little academic, I know, but it's actually really simple. It's that inner compass we keep talking about. It's when the things you do on the outside line up perfectly with who you are on the inside. Your values, your interests, your identity. That right there is the bedrock of making authentic, confident decisions. And this coherent self, it stands on 3 really strong pillars. The first is identity, just knowing who you are and what truly matters to you. The second is meaning, that feeling that your life has a purpose, that you fit in the world. And the third, which is so important, is autonomy, that feeling that you are the one steering your own ship. Our job as parent coaches is to help them build each one of these pillars brick by brick. So, we know what we're trying to build. The big question is, how? That brings us to part 3, our first set of coaching moves for actually building their inner compass. Here are a few things you can start doing tonight. Instead of just giving answers, ask questions that make them look inside, like, what makes this the right choice for you? Share your own stories, your own struggles with choices. It makes the whole process feel normal. And be a mirror for them. Point out the talents you see. Like, you're amazing with Lego. Maybe that art class would be a great fit. And this last one is huge. Take the fear out of choosing by talking about what happens if a choice goes wrong. Okay, so building the compass is step 1. But learning how to actually use it? Well, that's a whole other skill. And that brings us to our next section. Practice makes perfect. Our kids need a safe lab to experiment with making decisions. So start small. What to wear, which snack to have. It builds up that decision-making muscle. Then for bigger things, coach them through the process of thinking it through. And step 3, this is everything. When they make a choice that doesn't work out, treat it like new information, not a failure. Asking, okay, so what did we learn for next time? Instead of, I told you so, completely changes the game. It turns a mistake into growth.
Okay, now for the big one. How do we help them with the biggest obstacle of all? Section 5, tuning out the noise.
You can basically picture this as a constant tug of war happening inside our kids. On one side, you've got all that external pressure pulling them, what others expect, following the crowd, looking for likes. And on the other side, there's their own inner compass, pulling them toward what they value, toward authenticity. Pretty much every big choice they make is right in the middle of this conflict. So we have to give them tools, filters. Help them question why they want something that's trendy. Ask, what do you actually find cool about that? Talk openly about social media, how it's a highlight reel, not real life. And maybe most importantly, frame making their own choices not as being difficult, but as a sign of real strength and maturity. And what's so cool is that this whole approach, it goes way beyond just life choices. This entire process of building autonomy, encouraging reflection, and finding what motivates them from the inside, that is the absolute foundation of what experts call self-directed learning. So you're not just raising a confident kid, you're raising a kid who will be a great learner for their whole life. Which brings us to our final and maybe the most crucial section of all, the coach in the mirror. Because at the end of the day, all the strategies and all the coaching in the world, it can't hold a candle to the power of your own example. Kids learn what they see. When they watch you make choices that line up with your own values, especially when it's tough, you are teaching them the most powerful lesson there is. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on, and it's not about them, it's about you. What's just one choice you can make today that shows your child what your inner compass looks like in action? Because showing them yours is the very best way to help them find their own.